Bada bing, bada boom. Geeks are back. 271. We got the picks. We got the predictions. Let's fucking roll. Starting off the card, main card, Nasrat Hakarast versus Bobby Green. Bobby Green makes the Joker come out look in his last fight, performs like a savage. It looked like a brand new Bobby Green. It looked like he was trying to kill his opponent, which is not something we've seen from him, particularly in the past. Bobby Green, super well-rounded. He can take the fight to the ground. He can stand on the feet with you. He can throw kicks. Nasrat Hakarast. I butchered that. He's 13-4. Was a huge rising prospect, coming off a weird L. Kind of took a lot of hype out of his name. Still really good opponent. Great striking resemblance to Kevin Gastelum, as we were just talking about. Weird resemblance. Let's get into the breakdown here. I like Bobby Green just being a more well-rounded fighter. If he can't win the stand-up, he has options. That's why I like Bobby Green in this fight. Nasrat Hakarast, I keep butchering it, but he's got to win the striking battle, and he's got to stay on his feet. That's a lot to ask for. Big stage. Doesn't have anything that's like really told us that he can do this. When it comes to those higher tier opponents, it seems like he falls short. So I'm riding Bobby Green. I want to see something crazy, and I think he's going to show me something crazy. Let's go, Goose.
Yeah, I like what you were saying. The only sure thing, and it's not even a sure thing, but my most certain pick in this is that it will be a 29-28 decision. I don't know who is going to be on what side. I am predicting that Bobby Green will be on the 29 side, but it wouldn't surprise me. I think Nasrat, he's a very good stand-up fighter. He's got some pop, but Bobby Green can fight, man. And he's almost like kind of the Sean Strickland of lightweight. He's always sparring. I heard something that he does like 10-minute rounds in sparring. He just gets in the octagon and keeps fighting. But I think that bodes well for him, especially Nasrat, known to gas out a little bit. I think that Bobby Green will be close, maybe lose the first round and win the last two. And for that, I'm going to take Bobby Green. But I expect a close fight in this one.
Yep, close fight it will be, and close odds they are. Let's hear it, Fish.
Yeah, so Bobby Green, his last three opponents, Thiago Moises, Rafa Fiziev, and Ali Aquinta. So all dudes there. And Bobby Green, I think he's going to get the job done. He's got 9 knockouts, 9 subs, and he's only been knocked out twice, only got subbed twice. So, and yeah, I mean, this dude, I love the way he almost like asks people to strike with him, because he walks with his hands down and tries to get them to throw the punches, and I think he gets the job done. He could easily gas him out. Nasrat Hakarast, he is dangerous on the feet, though. He's got 9 knockouts, and his strikes landed per minute, he's got about like 5 landed per minute and 50% accuracy almost. So his last fight against Hooker took the L, but scary guy on the feet, but I'm going with Bobby Green. I think you get it done.
Yeah, it's definitely scary knowing that Bobby Green has that hands-down approach, and he's going to be fighting a very talented and powerful precision striker. So that's definitely why the line's so close. If Nasrat had a little bit more well-roundedness, I could see him being the favorite in this fight, but that's just not where he's at. So let's go. We're riding Bobby Green. Good pick. Good entertainment. Next fight. Kyler Phillips versus Marcelo Rojo. This fight's line just threw me for a loop. I mean, Kyler Phillips comes out as a massive favorite in this fight after he just very debatable fight with Paiva. But we saw what Sean O'Malley did to Paiva. I'm not really sold on Kyler Phillips. I think he's so entertaining, and I love him as a fighter. But when it comes to analytics and making a pick, I'm not sure if I've got the confidence in him to really stick to a strict game plan and win 15 minutes of a fight, especially against the guy Marcelo Rojo, who is just a known Tasmanian devil. I mean, this guy's an absolute animal in the octagon. You can't predict a single thing that this guy's going to do when he steps in the cage. He's 16-7. The record's not the best, but for a guy like Kyler Phillips, who kind of just makes a lot of mistakes, it feels like just rookie mistakes. It feels like I feel like Marcelo Rojo is going to be good enough to capitalize on at least one of them. I think this is a barn burner fight, a fight where you can't touch Kyler Phillips at such high odds after the results we've seen in the past. I think Marcelo Rojo grabs the neck at some point in this fight. I want to say it's late. Maybe Kyler Phillips beating him up, keeps it standing for a while. But I think Marcelo Rojo at some point breaks through and just kind of surprises the crowd here. What do you got on this one, Goose?
Yeah, so breaking down the film on this, you look at the last fight specifically. I watched a lot of his fight, Marcelo Rojo's fight versus Charles Jourdain, and I was impressed. But I will say Charles Jourdain didn't look like himself at first there. Maybe that was Rojo just being awkward and kind of throwing him off. But Rojo looked a little smaller in there. He was up at featherweight, so I'm interested to see how he looks in the UFC octagon against a bantamweight. I think the value in this one is on Rojo. With that being said, I'm probably picking Phillips and just going to lay off it personally. I think Phillips has the jump on him wherever this fight goes. And I think because of that, Rojo's going to be moving backwards a little bit more than he was in that Jourdain fight. Phillips is 26 years old. I think the jumps that he makes specifically after a loss is going to be really good. And I think we see a much more improved version of Kyler Phillips. I can't say he's going to go out there and get the finish because he did show issues with the gas tank last fight, but Rojo also historically has some issues with the third round. I saw Castaneda finished him in the third round before, and it just seems like he slows down. So all things equal, I'm going to take Kyler Phillips in this fight.
Yeah, fair play. Fish.
Marcelo Rojo, 0-1 in the UFC. His last fight, he was knockout loss to Charles Jourdain, but 8 knockouts, and he's only been knocked out one time. And like Goose said, he got subbed by Sexy Mexi, John Castaneda, and this fight, yeah, the odds are crazy on this, but I mean, Kyler Phillips, I think he's going to win the fight. That's how I'm going to say it. He's never been finished, 5 knockouts, and his last 2 fights, the loss to Paiva, like Geek said, and a win to Song Yadong. So unanimous decision. Also, I'm going to go with Phillips on this one, but I just wanted to throw in there, he took a loss to Victor Henry, the underdog pick a couple weeks ago on the card. But, yeah, Kyler Phillips, I think he'll get the job done. But I had him at minus 400, so, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, you heard it here first. Kyler Phillips, I mean, probably should win this fight. Is it worth all that minus money? I don't think so, but maybe just a really good one to watch. Let's go into the next one. This is where these fights start getting top tier, really, really good. Jared Cannonier versus Derrick the Blonde Brunson. Man, dude, this fight's like, do I pick with my heart? Do I pick with my brain? Do I just not bet this fight? No, I did a little bit, and as bad as I want to pick Blonde Brunson, and as bad as he has fucking burned me the last 5 fights that this guy's had, I seriously don't see him taking down Jared Cannonier. I don't see him doing it. Like, I want to see him do it so bad. Like, I want everyone to know that. Like, I love Blonde Brunson. Like, I'm here for him. And I'd take him in a lot of spots. But Jared Cannonier just seems to have every single recipe in order to keep this fight where he needs it and just pretty much embarrass Derrick Brunson, in my opinion. Because Derrick Brunson's so good at mixing it up. Couple shots, switch it up. He's not going to have that option. Jared Cannonier is going to be throwing vicious leg kicks, keeping him at distance. He's so strong. So if Brunson thinks he's going to muscle him on the ground, good luck with that. This would have to be a masterclass, no mistakes, perfect outing for Derrick Brunson to take this home. He's got a chin that's already showed to be a little bit weak. It gets hit. He's been knocked out. He's been wobbled in so many of these fights that we watch. We've been fading him. Darren Till wobbled him. A bunch of people, but no one can just finish the job. And a lot of that has to do with they can't stop the takedown. So Brunson ends up being able to escape a lot of these tough positions because he can switch it up. I don't think that's an option. I think Jared Cannonier knocks him out at some point in this fight. He's got the tank. He's already been the distance with technical fighters. It's his time. Jared Cannonier, he's been preaching this title fight into existence now. He's one win away. Izzy wants him. It's next. Brunson does, have a fight against Izzy, and that is an interesting matchup. But Jared Cannonier has already come out of Izzy's mouth. I feel like that's the matchup to make, and I feel like he's just too much in this fight, man. I wish I could do it, but I can't. I'm going Jared Cannonier, round 3 knockout. Goose.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. The last couple Derrick Brunson fights, I've been on the other side. He's been a pretty sizable underdog. It's been the story of, if he can get the takedown, he's dangerous, and he gets the takedown and he's dangerous. That being said, if I would come on here, look into this camera, and say I think Derrick Brunson will win this fight, that would be a cop-out. And I'm a man of character. So I am picking Jared Cannonier, okay? Because he is very strong. He can stuff takedowns, and he's got good striking. I think, you look at his losses, very good opponents. Derrick Brunson's too. But specifically, Derrick Brunson's losing to strikers that can stop takedowns. Jared Cannonier's losing to wrestlers that can take him down, but also like Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker beat him. The thing with the wrestlers that have beat Jared Cannonier, they've been much bigger. Like it was at light heavyweight and they were massive guys. I think he will have the size advantage on Derrick Brunson. I think that'll be a big obstacle for Derrick Brunson to get around. And then another thing is Jared Cannonier can switch to southpaw stance and throw a very hard right jab and good leg kicks into that lead leg of Derrick Brunson. You see sort of Derrick Brunson's his best attribute being out of that southpaw stance is it's hard for guys, specifically orthodox fighters, to take his lead leg out. If Cannonier can switch to southpaw and get a few good kicks in on that leg, I think as the fight goes on, it gets easier and easier for Cannonier. And I'm going to stick to my gut. I'm going Jared Cannonier in this one. I think he knocks him out, but the blonde Brunson, he's a fighter. He's somehow getting better at 38, so I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to a decision.
Yeah, very valid take. Fishman, surprises here maybe?
I'm going with I'm not gonna go like that. So Jared Cannonier, 7-5 in the UFC. His last fight was the unanimous decision against Kelvin Gastelum. And but yeah, this man's fought in the heavyweight division, light heavyweight division, and middleweight. And since he's come to middleweight, I think he's found his true home. He's been 4-1 in that division, and yeah, this dude is a specimen. He has pop in the hands, and I think he gets the job done against Brunson. But Blonde Brunson is undefeated, and that's a fact. And he's on a 5-fight win streak. But like you guys said, the striking, you got to give it to Cannonier, and the wrestling, you got to give it to Brunson. But Cannonier is going to be the bigger guy, having been the bigger guy before, and I think it might be too much for Brunson to handle. But Brunson also, he trains at Sanford MMA, a great gym. He's never been subbed, 11 knockouts. He's been knocked out 5 times. And the chin will be tested for sure. And that's a fact. And we're going to go with Cannonier.
These are the facts. Blonde Brunson never lost. Chin tested. Facts. All right. Co-main. Big old guy. Derrick Lewis, Tai Tuivasa. Wow. This is a matchup we all love to watch, huh? I mean, 2 big old sluggers just going at it. My intake, off rip, Derrick Lewis knockout. I mean, I did the tape. I watched a lot of this stuff back. And Tai Tuivasa, as much as everyone loves him and he's on these fight streaks, he's not fighting like these upper echelon, top tier, elite level heavyweights like Derrick Lewis has been fighting. And for Tai Tuivasa in his last fight to get rocked, because yes, he knocked out Greg Hardy, but he got rocked. And if he can get rocked by Greg Hardy moving backwards, I think that he can get his head taken off by Derrick Lewis. And if Tuivasa's game plan is, oh, I'll kick the legs, I'll pitter patter, dude, that's what we thought Daukaus was going to do. And if you ask me, I think Daukaus is probably way more agile than Tai Tuivasa in the terms of moving in and out and movement. I think Tai Tuivasa gets clapped in this matchup. It might take a little bit because this is another thing too. Derrick Lewis will stand there and wait. He will wait. He will be that boring ass fighter that you hate. He don't give a fuck. He'll stand there and wait for Buddy to come into range so he can deliver a fatal blow. And that's how it'll go. Tai Tuivasa, the crowd's going to be going crazy. The first round's probably going to be boring as fuck. Second round, Tai Tuivasa with just not enough experience, not that vet caliber, he's going to try to turn it up too much, and he's going to get caught. Because guess what? Derrick Lewis will go to that stupid-ass, boring decision with you 3 rounds. He will. He don't care. And Tai Tuivasa, I feel like, does care. And he wants to win this emphatically and put on a show. And I think that's what's going to get him in trouble. I got Derrick Lewis. Give me second round knockout. I'll do second round because I think the first round's a snooze fest. Let's go Fishman to start this one off.
So, Derrick Lewis, the knockout king, 16-6 in the UFC. His last 3 fights, Daukaus, forget which Daukaus it was, but knockout win, which officially made him the knockout king. And he took the loss for the interim belt to Gane with that finger poke TKO. And Blades, just like you said, waited the whole fight. Blade shot for the takedown. Boom, stiffened. And I mean, this dude is dangerous. And a heavyweight fight, anything could happen. And Tai Tuivasa, hot, the shoey man. This dude has been knocked out once, 13 knockouts, and this dude's on a streak, underdog money, and I'm riding with Tai for this reason. I think he's going to come out and try to put on a show. He's in a spot, and Derrick Lewis, like you said, he's going to wait. And I don't know. Tai, if he wants to win, I think he should do the same. He should get Derrick Lewis tired, and I think he should kick the bloody legs off of him early, take some shot off of his hands and some power off of his hands. And I don't know. I think you should grind him out for a little bit, get him tired, and clip him. I think he will. He did get rocked for a second, but I don't know if you could say he really got rocked. He did get rocked by Greg Hardy, but I mean, the dude's it's a heavyweight, you know. Anyone would get rocked just about in the world if they get clipped with a punch by a heavyweight, but he fired right back and clipped him harder, you know, put him down. And I don't know. I think Ty needs this 5-win streak right here, and it would do him justice in the rankings. And it would be interesting to see him make that jump. It would be cool.
All right, Goose, what you got?
Yeah, so to start off, I'm going to take us back to Derrick Lewis going on to the MMA Hour. I think it was a week or two after his fight. I would say a couple weeks after his fight against Chris Daukaus on December 18th. So that puts us early January. And in the interview with Ariel Helwani, Derrick Lewis kind of looked back on his Cyril Gane fight. And the words, "I would never want to fight in Houston again," came out of his mouth. Less than a week later, he was on this card in Houston for UFC 271. I'm going with Derrick Lewis. You know, I think the redemption story, it's powerful. Okay. He's got a little bit of something to prove. He's going to go into that octagon with a purpose. But I love this fight, man, because Tai Tuivasa, he's going to show up. Derrick Lewis, his back's against the wall here. I know he went out and got a knockout recently, but he's going to show up. And for one beautiful moment, like Mason said, they could come out and they could be slow, but these men are going to put their feet, stuck them in the ground, and they're just going to trade. And they're both going to go into that exchange with the acceptance, kill or be killed. I might be waking up or I might get all the glory. And in that moment, both fighters in the pocket, I'm going to take the guy with Knockout King tatted on his chest and the guy that went out and put it in the record books. Give me Derrick Lewis in this fight.
Let's go, baby. Yes, sir. So, yeah, we're definitely riding D-Lou. Dude, he's off a loss in Houston in front of his entire fucking family, and he's back.
This co-main and the main are like the two, like, most these two fights are crazy. Like, I can't wait for these two to unfold. Like, it's gonna be nuts.
Yeah. With that being said, let's jump right into the main. We got Izzy Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker, the rematch. In their first fight, Izzy got the second round knockout. He dropped Whittaker in the first round. Very dominant performance. In the rematch, though, I do think it will be different. We do have to talk about Izzy's steroid usage because it's real. It's fucking real. If he wasn't so ripped and on all this crazy shit, yeah, I probably think Bobby Knuckles comes out with a better game plan, gets him to the floor at points in this fight, and really like exposes him, just kind of like Jean did. But you know, there's that backdoor excuse that he's got where it's, oh well, Jean was so much bigger than me and all this stuff. It's like, okay, well, did Jean tell you that you had to be 186 pounds going into a light heavyweight fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is on you, brother. You wanted to fight up and you wanted to go get that guy. What did you think he was going to do to you? You know what I'm saying? So that's just that. But in this matchup, I don't think Robert Whittaker is going to have all the tools necessary. I do think it's a close fight. I think that Whittaker might be able to scratch a round or two, but I think that Adesanya from distance, and like I said with Derrick Lewis, that whole waiting game, it fucking works. And it's what Izzy does too. You can see the Yoel Romero fight, and he kept saying it after. He said, I have the belt. You want this fucking belt? You got to come get this belt. And that works so tremendously for Izzy as a long-range kickboxer because he can stand there on the outside. And if you don't want to get aggressive and come at him, he's going to pick you apart. You're going to lose 50, 45 every single time. You're not going to be able to get inside the range, those leg kicks, all that crazy shit. It's just not possible. With that being said, he's on steroids as well. I think he gets Whittaker by decision. Yeah, by decision. I'm going to go Izzy like 4-1. And I think that in the one round that he loses, it's maybe like 2 or 3, and he like trips and Whittaker gets a takedown, and it doesn't stay on the ground, but the stand up the rest of the round just isn't convincing enough for Izzy to take it. And there was just a couple moments for Robert in that. Robert can come out and wrestle and expose him. And I would love that because I'm not a huge Izzy guy, but I don't think it happens. I think this is the best chance of it happening, though. So this is kind of like a GOAT status fight, I feel like, for Izzy. What do you think, Goose?
Yeah, so to preface, over December, I made a striking list. There's one man that I think is the king of the striking in the UFC. I'm going with my pound for pound. Number 1, give me Izzy Adesanya. I think Robert Whittaker, great fighter, historically great UFC fighter. But Izzy might just be a combat sports GOAT. He's done it everywhere. He keeps making improvements. I think you look at Robert Whittaker, obviously he's gotten better since their last fight, but he still does some stuff. He sometimes, you can teach an old dog new tricks, but sometimes those habits are going to stay with him. And I think that Robert Whittaker lunging in when he feels like he can't get inside is inevitable. And I think while he has been working on the wrestling, Izzy's going to keep shooting feints at him, keep pressuring him. You see, Darren Till almost ended Robert Whittaker's night in the second round because he was throwing some feints. Robert bit, he hits him with a counter elbow. Can Robert Whittaker win some rounds? Absolutely. I think the most likely outcome for this fight is it goes to decision. But that being said, I could see Izzy getting a finish, specifically with off a couple body kicks, him throwing a question mark kick. I could see him hitting that, as well as a punch similar to what Conor McGregor hit on Jose Aldo, because Robert Whittaker, he doesn't do a great job of checking leg kicks. Instead, he stuffs the jab. And I could see Izzy throwing a leg kick feint. Maybe third round, Robert Whittaker's a little bit tired. He throws that jab out. Izzy's sitting on it, counters with the right. But regardless, I think this is a good matchup for Izzy, and I'm riding with him.
Yeah, Fish.
So Izzy, the last style bender, 10-1 in the UFC. His last fight, unanimous decision against Backward Pants Vittori. And this is probably going to go down as the striking GOAT of the UFC. I mean, this guy moves like the wind. This guy's strike it's a work of art. 15 knockouts, never been knocked out, never been subbed. And what comes with crazy striking is making sure your takedown defense is at its top game too. And that's a thing that he perfected as well. And maybe not with a dude who's 40 pounds heavier than you, but dude's an animal, city kickboxing. And Robert Whittaker, 14-3 in the UFC. His last 3, all unanimous decisions. Darren Till blew out his MCL, I believe. Cannonier broke his arm, and Gastelum. And knockouts, been knocked out twice. Once by Izzy. I don't remember who knocked him out the second time. And subs. he has 5 subs and been subbed once, but this fight is going nowhere near the ground. Would love to see Whittaker win because I think it would automatically. I don't know about automatically, but
No, automatically.
it would be automatic. I meant if Izzy. I was thinking about if Izzy won. I don't think there would be a rematch for Whittaker, but immediately. But if Whittaker won, you would see them run it back for a third, and then you could really tell because then it's a best out of 3, and I would love to see that. But Izzy is a different breed, and I think he's going to win this fight. But like I said, I love Bobby Knuckles, and I would love to see him win this fight just to see a trilogy, and I think it would be one of the best trilogies ever if that happened. But we're just going to have to see how this unfolds, and yeah, I think Izzy's got it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some question marks with this matchup as Robert Whittaker went back to the drawing board for sure after his knockout. He's logged 6 takedowns since that fight, and that's more than he's ever had in his entire UFC career. So it's definitely something that he knows he's got to work on, and he is working on. Another thing from the first fight, these are some things that I've heard just fill in the air here. Robert Whittaker has never thrown more than like 100 head strikes in the first like 2 rounds of a fight. And he threw like 200 head strikes in the first round and a half of their first fight. So he was clearly very worked up and had a lot of energy that was going towards Izzy. And he even came out and said that Izzy was in his head. So it's interesting to see if Robert comes out with a more dialed approach on the feet, if he's more hesitant and keeps a longer distance, or if he really just wants to fucking obliterate the distance. Because that could work in a couple ways. He could gas out quick and get knocked out quick, or he finds himself on top of Izzy on the floor winning a decision, you know? So anything you guys got to say, wrap it up. That's all the picks we got.
Yeah, I'm just so excited for this, man. Obviously, Izzy at the top of the list of my favorite fighters, and I think this is going to be an electric card from fight 1 all the way through. I'm so excited. The fans in Houston, Texas always get very lit. So I'm expecting a bunch of finishes and a great night for fight fans.
Yeah, Fish, what you got?
No, that's about it. This might just be the card of the year. So you guys better tune the fuck in and yeah, ride with the fucking geeks.
Yeah, dude, ride us heavy, bro. And if you want to know where our real money's all going to be laying out, get after us on Instagram. We're going to drop all the picks. We're going to drop the geek sheet. We'll have previews. We're going the whole 9 yards. We got fighter interviews. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming up.
One more thing. Geek Gauntlet. We just dropped it. You want to try and make some money? You think you can beat us with the picks? You know, we're coming out weekly. Maybe I think this week you got to drop some tags in the comments. Last week it was a repost on the story. But if you do the whatever, you get entered, you get a chance to go one-on-one. And it's the Geeks Gauntlet, baby. Anything can happen.
Yeah, come make some money, boys. If you know so much shit, let's fucking run it, motherfuckers. All right. That's it. That's a wrap. 271. Let's make some money. Geeks are out.